Welcome to Inferno TV, episode 5.
Whee!
Oh yeah, we've got an audience. It's really good.
Before we get on to the doom and
And it's
gloom,
not just a laugh track.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do any.
you were going to bring the doom and gloom.
No,
Go on, do it.
I was,
Well,
I was
we
actually gonna bring the thunder, but now you spoiled.
Well,
that.
hang on, just a minute. It's a very special week. It's not the actual day, but we've got two gentlemen celebrating their very special birthday today. Yes. Well, this week. You were one of them.
Yeah. Who's that?
This is a joint cake.
I'm
Sorry, you don't like us anymore. Now
That's
you know it's
tiny
joint
well
cake.
this week,
This
Skippy.
tiny joint cake. And Steve, who's over here as
Hey.
well. So we've got to celebrate that. So shall I cut it? Or
Oh,
would you
yeah.
like to cut it, being
No,
the
you can,
birthday
mate.
boy?
It's totally fine.
You
totally.
sure?
Yeah, you cut
How do you want me to do it?
I don't know.
I would use the knife,
Half.
Do you
There's two
think?
of us.
Instead of...
your finger.
Consensuous.
If I cut it in half...
When you were gonna cut it, with
How
the
many
sock, you said.
pieces, how many are there of us here? 27 in the
s-
studio audience.
Yeah, that'll go really well 9 ways. Yeah, do it 9 ways. Go.
Oh, I can't get through it. Come on.
So this week we've
This
got
is
cake
tough.
cutting
Oh, it's
with
got...
Alice.
Oh, bloody hell. It's got a thing on it. It's got a ribbon on it. Hang on. It won't cut through
Oh
that.
my goodness.
There we go.
So while Ali cuts cake, shall we?
Yeah, you can carry on.
I think we should make a start.
Yeah, I reckon maybe just to end the pain
Well,
of cutting cake.
there isn't much that's happened this week really, so we're a bit limited for
It's
stuff
been a
to
bit
talk
quiet,
about.
to be
Yeah.
fair. That's why we were asking for suggestions yesterday, because nothing's happened. So
We almost... Yeah,
No.
no, that's right.
yeah. So obviously,
Well, we were going to have 4 people on, weren't we? But then we decided there wasn't enough news for 4 of us to cover.
Well, in other news, there
Yeah.
was almost news, and then there wasn't any news, so that led to there being no news. So, but
it's shocking.
and I almost saw somebody walk past, and that may have been news, but unfortunately we didn't, and it wasn't.
Didn't happen either.
No.
Terrible.
So that was not the news. It,
So let's. All right. I didn't see him.
I'm trying not to finger your cake here, but I have washed my hands.
Is that a euphemism for something?
It's not a euphemism.
Okay, good. Right. So anyway, back on track.
are we on the right programme? Is this a Great British Bake Off or something? Who made it?
No, I didn't make it.
It looks moist. Is it moist?
Well,
but
put it in your mouth and you'll be able to tell then, won't you?
we got something good to talk about.
Go.
Devils v Caps.
Devils v Caps. All right. So we'll start off with the predictable and inevitable.
Is that class as good nowadays?
I think. Wow. I don't know.
Well,
We
it
should-
was,
we
it was a
should-
game we should have won.
We should have won it.
Yeah, we should have won. We made a bit of heavy going of it. In fairness, Adlovsky was good in the net as he normally is.
I know that when we checked the score at about at the end of the second, we were quite concerned because we were away, and it was like, hang on a minute, what? you know.
Yeah, and the team was playing like they were away as well. In fairness, wasn't sure who had the bus legs the first 2 periods.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Steve.
We haven't sung yet. Do we do it at the end?
I'll do the end. Yeah. We'll sing out. We'll sing out. Yeah.
Lovely.
Anyone? Anyone else?
Well, it really was, wasn't it, all the way through? And I loved it.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I've
really
got it
was.
wrong. I've cut too few pieces, so I've had to cut one in half.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
No, everyone has to have some. Really.
Everyone have my cake.
Come on, let's get going.
Devils v Steelers. So
Yep.
Caps game, we should have won it. We did win it. We made heavy going of it. Positives was Morissette was in front of the net a lot more than we've seen our guys recently, but we still gave up loads of shooting
And
opportunities.
he had, what did he have in the night? Was it 3 goals and an assist?
I believe so.
So that's a pretty good opening for his opening
Yeah.
scoring with the
I
Devils.
was a bit disappointed he didn't get man of the match. To be honest, I thought he'd done enough to get it, but
do we know why that was? What was the thinking? Or?
didn't. Because Mac had Blight had a great night as well, points wise,
Yeah.
and Mac got man of the match, and he certainly worked hard all night, but didn't have the end result that the other guys had. So you can never fault Mac really, because he always works hard every night. But at the moment, he's not maybe getting the points that all that endeavour is deserving,
Yeah.
and hopefully that's something that's going to come for us soon because we need it. He's a key player for us, and we really need to see that soon.
So yeah, well,
Not him on his own, because I
good
thought.
for Morissette though, getting those goals.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
A nice little confidence boosting opening to
Well,
It's
I
fine.
suppose he looked a little bit like John Pelly without the goals, didn't he, when he first turned up? But now hopefully that's been.
Hopefully that's got the ball rolling.
That's exactly one way to get it going. So
No, he looked good in
that
front of
was
the
good.
net, and he could have had a couple more.
I tell you who I liked in front of the net as well was Josh Batch on the power play.
Yeah,
That looked good.
it did. He put himself around a bit more, and so did Quiney for that matter.
Yeah,
We saw him a few
he
times.
had more
and-
ice time as well,
yeah,
didn't he?
he was out there causing a bit of mayhem,
Yeah, yeah.
bit of mischief. It was good.
Yeah.
And another guy suddenly, you saw him. They suddenly saw this guy and realised he was huge, and they looked a bit, where'd he come from?
Yeah.
So was our power play good on Saturday? Because I'm sure I read somewhere it was better than it has been.
It was neater. I would have said we overcomplicated it more than once. there was a lot of passes. There was a lot of passes when they were shooting lanes open, and then we passed into areas where there wasn't shooting lanes. But I think a lot of that is confidence issues for the guys.
Yeah.
At the moment, maybe they don't want to shoot because they're concerned that then it'll be noticed that they had a shot and they missed again. For instance, I know, but like strikers in football, it's a confidence thing. And you watch it in the football, even that the guy who's struggling to score suddenly starts passing a lot more because then he doesn't have to take responsibility for the shot. And I think there's an element of that there. And
although Marsh was shooting, wasn't he, from the point a little
he
bit
had one
more.
fantastic shot, didn't he?
Got a nice shot.
The one that nearly broke the post.
Yeah, where's that one be?
Because he had quite a few snapshots on the point, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
Was that because we were actually putting somebody in front of the net that people were taking, or he was taking some shots
Well,
in?
I think we tried to change the power play a bit as well, so we were getting the puck to him on the point and on the blue line, and he was hitting some great shots in.
Yeah.
Good.
So that was an improvement.
Yeah.
Very briefly, going back to the Mac point, I think part of the issue there. No, that's all right. I think part of the issue there is that Mac's all over the ice at the moment. He seems to be trying to do a few people's work because maybe there are other areas where we're struggling, and you see Mac on D, you see him checking against the board, you see him working in the corners, and unfortunately that's going to make it difficult for him to start racking those points up. So the other guys have really got to be doing their job so that Mac can get those points that we need. Devils v Steelers.
Wow, let's face it, going into Sheffield, it's not what we would have expected to win last year, maybe the year before. So
why would we expect to win it this year when we had no Lord?
Exactly.
And unfortunately, pretty early in the game, we lost G as well.
Well, because we win away. That's why we expect to win it, isn't it?
You do have to wonder why we win away, and I don't think I want to go into too much depth about why we might be winning away. But maybe sometimes there's a little bit of pressure off when you're away.
The intro's a different away, and that's what puts the guys
I
off.
think that's
it's
what
the music. Apparently, they play a lot of the Eagles at Sheffield, and the guys love it.
And I also heard Beyonce is quite often up there, so maybe that could help.
Yeah, there was a lot of single ladies apparently there.
Yeah.
Who like hockey players. Well, apparently.
Yeah. Did they stay up there after the game?
Our guy, they're all good guys. Ours, I'd like to say that, and they all got on the coach and came back. But the actual game itself, we lost it 6-3 or 3-6, depending on how you want to look at it. But from what I understood, there was a lot of endeavour. We worked very hard all night. The guys really tried, and in the end, the scoreline maybe wasn't a fair reflection of how hard they played. From what I could see, because I watched the match night live coverage, it sounded like we put an awful lot of effort into it. We were attacking a lot. We possibly had a goal that was disallowed, but I haven't seen it, so I couldn't comment on that.
It's disgustingly biased though, that match night live, isn't it?
Well, it is a bit.
Fractionally, I think.
So I hear.
Yeah.
A hair's breadth.
A little biased.
But it sounded like...
We're going to try and get
as advertised though, isn't
We're actually going to try and get it more biased for Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn it up to 11.
I think that's
maybe
good.
12, and just really wrap it up.
Really? It is a 12
Yeah, it was only us on the ice.
Yeah, pretty much. Only us on the ice. Some of the guys,
they're
all quite short.
You're going to spinal tapify
pretty much.
match night live.
Yeah. We're going to turn the Giants into a little Stonehenge.
Yeah.
And the Devils will dance around them dressed as it'd be great.
Yeah, they're going to be smaller than we at first thought they would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it.
Yes.
Convoy played in Sheffield as well, you crazy boys.
Which is a good thing, right?
Yeah, Convoy returned. Apparently, he looked pretty good. I understand he really worked hard on the ice. Took very few penalties, which I assume was what he'd been asked to do. Like if G says to him, look, I wanted to go up there and I wanted to agitate, then there's a good chance he is going to take penalties.
Yeah.
So I think we have to recognise that going forward, there's still a good chance that Convoy's going to take penalties, and that the team will have asked him to do it because that's the job they're expecting.
Yeah.
But if that's his role, fair enough, and we've got to accept that. We accepted it before. We've had guys who went out there and got ridiculous bands of penalties.
Yeah. We can't keep criticising for taking penalties if it's at the time when the coach is asking him to go out and agitate and shake things up. So we shouldn't be surprised if that happens. Is basically my point from there. But it's encouraging that he's come back and he was looking hungry, and apparently he was out there giving it his all. So not that I doubted that he wouldn't. So going forward into Thursday's game, I think it's important. Obviously, he's going to be back for us.
Exactly.
But
the other thing from Sunday was obviously the Steelers had their two new guys in, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had Nate de
Casemiro.
That's the one. And that Italian-American fellow, whose name I can't remember.
4 goals?
Yeah, he had like 3 or 4 goals and an assist.
Oh, well, that's Casemiro, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's another guy, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Steve, Google.
Well, they had, I believe they had an additional import. They
Yeah.
rested, didn't they? They're carrying a spare import now, and they
3
rested one, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah.
That's despite the
What have
injured
they
guys.
dropped to 3?
Yeah, they've got over team now. So.
Yeah, I understand they're actually carrying an import as well as the injured guys, so
Yeah.
they must have a decent sized budget there. Because certainly the guy who's come in is a top line player. He's not any average player in our league. This is a really good player who's come in. So
Which is great.
and
For them.
if he can maintain that form, he's going to tear the league up.
Exactly, and that's with guys like injured still. So
Yeah. I think we said it before that it was likely that when Sheffield got back to full strength, they were going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And that is, I see people talking about it being between Nottingham and Belfast at the moment, or Dundee potentially, but I really think Steelers, if they can get on a run, they're going to be dangerous.
Exactly. Well,
That's a very good team.
Although they're not quite going to be back to full strength, are they? Because they've lost Baldwin. Gord Baldwin.
Yeah.
Kicking, wasn't it? Yeah.
A bit of a-
Is it 5 games?
Yeah,
kicking?
that-
5 you got, yeah.
5, yeah.
That is true. So they'll be using their additional import. So they won't be,
Yeah.
apart from
No,
the
they
fact
can't play though, can they? While
No, they've got to play one import light.
they've got to
yeah,
play
that's
one
right.
import.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not injured, is he? So no, it's a good point. So for that, well, that ruined my point completely now, didn't
Sorry
it?
about that.
That's all right. I'm glad you reminded me, though. I said, look stupid.
I think I'm
Yeah.
better off just eating this cake, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you go
If
for
anyone's
it.
got any spare, you don't look like you're getting stuck in at all. What's
Oh, I'm
going on?
going to eat mine in a minute.
No.
And then I think we probably should touch on some of the more serious issues from this week.
Yeah, there has been quite a lot, hasn't there?
The final scorer for the Devils on Sunday was Phil Hill, and
Monday
sadly
morning.
on the Monday, Phil was released.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to thank Phil for his services to the club, all the effort he's put in, all the points he's racked up for us.
Because he's in his 12th season with the Devils?
Yeah,
There was that one season away with Sheffield. But yeah, 12
spent a lot of time with us,
Yeah, exactly.
and certainly in the sort of last 5-6 seasons, he's been up near the top end of all the Brits in the league, and obviously that led to him representing GB, and putting out some great performances for us. I think to some extent with Phil's style more than anything else has probably led to our change of direction. Phil's a bit of a finesse player. He put up some decent points for us. He's currently lying 7th, I think, for Brits in the league, and was our equal top Brit in the team before he was let go.
With
But
Ben
he's
Davis.
he's not really a contact player, and I think it seems to me that the direction we're heading in is to try and have a bit more physical hockey, and maybe that isn't Phil's style of game. And unfortunately, I think he's been a bit of a victim of his own size.
Yeah.
Because he's a great big guy, and everybody seems to assume that when Phil's out on
Big
the
guy,
ice,
he's going to hit people.
he's going to smash people around. And that unfortunately, that isn't the game that Phil plays.
No, but when he finds a new side, let's face it, he's going to.
He will, yeah, he will.
And if they have a roster that can carry a finesse player, a Brit finesse player, who's not expected to go out and hit people, he's going to be fine.
I think he'll do very well, probably.
Yeah.
I think on some of the other big teams in the league at the moment, he could really start racking some points up. He'll get looked after when he's out on the ice because most of the other teams have got big guys.
Because we were a little bit of it went off on Twitter, didn't it, on Monday, and a lot of other fans of other teams were basically saying, "You're mad, we'd have him in a second."
Yeah,
So lots of interest from
he's
fans.
highly rated. Yeah,
exactly.
There was players of other teams tweeting, when they'd heard the news. There was ex-players. We had Brad was tweeting, and Scott. I think Scott Matska tweeted. Mike Perpick.
Yeah, that's
And a number of others. Matt Toe. A number of other guys were tweeting, wishing Phil all the best, and obviously saying they were a bit gutted to hear the news. A real hard worker and a team man, and he certainly was a devil through and through. That's one of the things I think I found hardest to come to terms with for me is Phil was he's a proper devil. You cut him in half, he's got devils written in the middle. I'm sad to see him go, though I can understand because of the direction we're trying to take the team in why we're trying to change things around.
So just to take the emotion out of it, if from a hockey perspective, with G going to the bench, which I think potentially is a very good move, how somebody has done as well as he has playing and coaching, I have no idea, to be honest with you, because in any sport that would be hard, but at the pace the game moves, incredibly difficult thing. So G moving to the bench, but if another player comes in, probably on D, of quality, that makes us, Phil's obviously been fantastic servant for the club and everything. But if you look at the overall balance of the team and with G moving to the bench, etc., does that make us a stronger team overall?
Well, I think there's an opportunity to change the dynamic a bit. If we're going to bring in possibly a big D man who's a bit more physical. Obviously, that's gonna change things around a lot from where we were. So, and I assume that will be the direction we'll go. I don't know whether there's more funding going to be available to add on to Phil's wages, so we can look at one of the sort of higher end D men to bring them in. I would like to think that maybe that could be the case, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be very interesting to see
Is
how
there
that
a
develops.
premium though? I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but it's suggested there's a bit of a sort of premium for the top end Brits, isn't there? That they, because they're so much sought after, that they can sort of command slightly higher wages. So potentially for those wages which he may have been on, the quality of import by that theory would be pretty reasonable coming in, even if the wages were exactly the same, would they?
Possibly.
You would hope so.
Possibly.
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly.
Yeah.
The ins and outs.
Well, we'll find out.
Know.
Where are we expecting an announcement? There's no indication that anybody's there's a
we're
particular lead or anything.
No,
is
we're
there?
looking at people, but
Yeah.
we haven't really had an indication yet that there's a deal done.
We'll definitely be down an import for the weekend's games on Thursday, aren't we? I
Yeah.
think that's probably,
Looking very likely.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
And is Lord coming back? Or is he still in?
Yeah, Lord should be back for the next game, I believe.
oh,
Right.
good.
It was a slash to the elbow that he took that caused the injury,
Gotcha.
but nothing like the slash to the chap from the I can't remember if it was the Telford Tigers.
That was horrible. Yeah.
And he almost lost the top of his finger. What a horrific slash that
I
was.
think he actually did lose. Cause someone put a picture on Twitter.
Yeah, horrific.
Thanks for that. And
Almost chopped the top of his finger off in his
Yeah.
glove.
it was horrid.
So thankfully, Lord's injury wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
and he should be back for this week's. When we need him,
We do. Yeah.
we do. We really need him.
So just to round out on Phil Hill, we all think he's going to land well. We all think he's going to land somewhere. Let's do a quick rip round of where we think he might land.
Well, we know the clan are interested in him.
Yeah. Okay. Aled, any thoughts? What do you reckon?
Well, he's been
Have a guess.
been at Sheffield before, hasn't he? And obviously he's got Jono up there. They've got loads of money.
That'd be my guess.
Apparently,
Yeah.
they seem to have a lot of money.
They do. Yeah, and
They
they're
do.
throwing it round.
Well, they
like-
spend it anyway. Whether they've actually got it, I don't know.
Rhino's a quite
Well,
pretty big brand as well.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, the guy from the Monopoly box in a Steelers jersey.
Come and play for us!
So
well, like this studio audience. What do you reckon? Phil Hill, where?
Sheffield.
Sheffield, everyone.
Sheffield.
That's
Sheffield.
What
that's
about
fun.
you?
What about you?
Another voice. Sheffield. Thank you.
See, that's everyone. So
Yeah.
yeah. So if we're wrong, next week we'll look.
And we work on some. Actually, we needed you back there with all your accents, didn't we? Because we
Yeah, I
could
could have done
had
loads of
some
voices,
different
didn't I?
people there.
I could have been
Made
Russian.
it look like
Yeah.
we've got
Tiny
more than
Sheffield.
4 people
No, that
here
is true.
on top of us. But
I think there's no doubt that Phil will fall on his feet, and I think probably at some point he'll come back to haunt us a bit, and he'll probably
Wow.
come and score some points against
When
us.
that season after we got him back from Sheffield, every time we played Sheffield, he had an absolute blinder.
Yeah,
So yeah, I would imagine there might be a little bit of a.
I think
stick
yeah.
to the old team.
And I think he'll probably do well. I think if he continues to rack up the points that he was racking up at the beginning of the season, he won't have a bad season anyway.
Exactly.
As it stands, he's still in line with his average at the moment anyway. So though he probably didn't have the start of the season he would have liked, neither has the team.
No, what doubt.
So and I think we have to say that the team certainly hasn't been performing either. So a lot of our guys who should be flying, people like Mac and Blight that you would also expect to be flying, they haven't been flying either.
No, true.
So the whole team itself hasn't been performing, but the decision's been made now, and hopefully going forward, let's take a positive from it. We're changing things.
Yeah.
So
going forward,
yeah,
on to the next point really. The announcement today that G is sort of going to take a step back from playing, just coach from the bench.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
well, I think we'll probably throw Franny in on that as well. Who's another,
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, Franny's taking a step back from being
like
yeah.
Aled said that that G has worked really hard on the ice, but we've still got through to all those playoff finals and all the other things that we've done.
Yeah.
You'd have to give some credit to Franny there for his hard work on the bench for us.
Definitely.
And I know that his role has changed now, and we're not going to see that the same. And we're bringing in a very experienced coach to work on the bench with G.
We are, yeah.
So I think that's something we have to recognise is that Brent is a level 3 coach. So that puts him, I think, on equal standing with any of the most qualified coaches in our league.
yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, what we think Corey Nielsen's a level 3.
We do.
We
I
think,
think
that
Paul Adey
Adey's-
may be a 2/3.
We're not sure about that one.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure.
Yeah. So. That
And
means
we
he has got,
know G's a level 2.
Exactly.
So we know that Brent has got the qualifications. He's got the experience. He's seen the drills. So from that point of view, and it all combines, we're going to see a different dynamic on the bench.
yeah.
I don't quite know what the dynamic's going to look like because I haven't seen it before.
It's going to be fascinating to see if he can commentate from the bench as well.
Well, apparently he's going to shout, and he's very loud. He's going to shout across the ice continuously during the games, and I think it's going to be amazing.
Oh, and
personally.
use the sort of the echo of the plexiglass the other side.
Well, I imagine it'll really put the other
impression
team off because from the commentary that I've heard, generally the other team isn't playing.
Yeah.
It's all Devils, and I think that's perfect commentary.
Is
To
the
be honest,
commentary more biased than we are on match
Oh,
night?
oh,
Well,
definitely.
if it is,
Yeah.
then something's got to be done about that.
That'll be sorted for Saturday.
Calling those guys out,
Comedy, in fact. Yeah.
Get right.
Yeah, I was going to do an impression then, but it wasn't sounding that good in my mind, so I decided to cut it.
Well, maybe it'll sound better out here now in front of everyone.
I think so.
Cuff.
Do it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it wasn't working. So Franny drops
Does that
to
mean the other impressions were sounding good in your mind?
Well, some occasionally do, even though they're ridiculous. Yeah, Franny goes to a role that we don't fully understand yet because we're not really sure what it involves. Thursday night, maybe we'll see a bit more of that.
So, it's analysis, and that's not just filling in a program, is it?
No, I think what we're looking at here is a guy who's really looking at areas where we can improve from a different perspective to the coaches.
That's good, yeah.
He'll be trying to operate things on the fly. He'll be looking at what we'll talk about afterwards, I assume.
Yeah.
So once we're off the ice, areas that maybe the coaches haven't noticed that we can discuss, and maybe I'll have some statistics for them to go with that.
Yeah.
That they can talk over.
One set of eyes good, 2 sets of eyes better, 3 sets of eyes even better.
3 very experienced sets of eyes as well. It has to be said.
Yeah.
So
Can I just add as well? I had the opportunity to use Chris Benson's analysis technologies on the night. I stepped in there and did some of the analysis down by the bench.
I thought the drumming was better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the first time I've been anywhere near a bench during a game. And just in terms of the coaching there, one thing that certainly I wouldn't ever question after seeing that, and is the passion from Neil Francis and Gerard Adams down there. They really care. And for anyone who can is within any sort of proximity to the bench, you'll know that already. But for me, I've never been down anywhere near that close, and it was absolutely fascinating to see the dynamics there. And those guys really, really care.
So a good one to feel like on the bench is Edinburgh, because you can sit literally and look over onto the bench. It's like it's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
it's quite interesting to see.
No, it's very true, and you hear everything there.
Every word.
Yeah, it's very, some words you don't want to know. Some words I didn't know existed before.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that was the ref's name either.
No, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
And he is very short.
Every one of them.
Yeah. All over.
All the Scottish refs are called the same. Who knew?
Yeah, I never knew that before.
Good thing Steve's not on this week, or he'd be having a go at their fans.
Probably.
Well, that was you as well,
He
though,
can
wasn't
just
it?
walk on. There's no one to
Well,
stop him.
you were slagging off the Edinburgh fans, weren't you?
I love the Edinburgh fans.
Especially the 3 that came down to watch the game on the weekend.
They were all lovely, and I spoke to all of them, and I congratulated them on making the journey. And I thanked them for entering Wales, and for going back to Scotland.
That sounded really creepy.
It did, didn't it?
Entering Wales.
Yeah.
It sounded mildly dodgy, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did.
I never sound dodgy normally, so. One other point I forgot to add to our list is that apparently the web streaming equipment or the new broadband for the tent has been installed and is undergoing testing, and apparently an initial test, so everything's looking good. I understand that tomorrow there's going to be a fuller test carried out and looking very promising for web streaming to continue from Thursday, from what I understand. So
Fantastic.
people have been asking on the Inferno forum about news on the webcasting. Obviously, there's a lot of people interested and want to get back on that who can't make games. People who are away.
Yeah.
Looking very positive for Thursday, and we're looking to be going ahead. And we will have a commentator who isn't shouting across the ice, I have to add as well from that.
Do we know who's doing that yet?
And no, it's not me yet, because people have asked if I'm going to be doing it. It'd be difficult for me to keep running back and forth from the replay desk to do the webcast, to do the commentary as well.
Difficult,
Maybe
but not impossible.
Well, I could possibly just have a microphone at the desk, couldn't I? And
Yeah,
I could just do a few different voices, and no one would know what was going on.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think you could do it. If anyone could do it,
You think so?
it's you, isn't it?
Oh, look at Max Beerbride. He's amazing. Look at the way he's gone down the ice here. Fabulous. So just do it like that.
I think you should do it like that. I think we'd automatically get more viewers.
All right, just do it. He's an old
Yeah.
gangster. Max Beerbride, here he is with a slap shot. That is it. Massive.
I tell you what, Brent better watch himself, because with Sochi around the corner.
Yeah. I'm coming for you. Brent, now let's just be honest about this. I can do that, accent too, and we'll just see how it goes, and then maybe it'll be me,
Yeah, you should have left that one.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
When you get that in a monologue saying it's not that good, go with it.
you know,
It's a good install.
yeah. Well, in my brain, it wasn't working. I was thinking, he's gonna have to throw it out there, and someone who's deaf out there will love it.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you see that story with that lady the BBC Sign Language lady who'd been got fed up with her job and started signing
The words.
exaggerations to the stories?
No.
Yeah, and the BBC thought some of the complaints initially were just like hoax callers, but when they kept getting them for different stories like zombies and things like that, then they realised something was wrong.
What is the sign for zombies? Is it or
I don't know.
I think that's a mummy.
okay?
Yeah, but it was close.
Yeah, you really should know you're undead, really.
I really should. Okay, so topic-wise, I think we're probably drifting away.
Yeah, well, I think what we've established so far with the whole program is there's some positives in there.
There are.
Unfortunately, we've lost one of our guys who's been with us a long time, but looking forward, we're lucky to bring in somebody on D, which we need.
Yeah.
We've got a different coaching structure. Will that eliminate the problem with Lacoste having to face way too many shots?
He is facing a lot of shots, isn't he?
Way too many shots. It's easy
So
to
why
criticise.
is that? Is that because people are sort of going straight through us and finding easy lanes to shoot, or is it because we're not getting first to the rebounds, which is?
I think both of those points actually are right.
Okay.
We're not taking the men to the boards and keeping them on the boards. We're allowing them to come inside, which is making it too easy to shoot. When you do come inside and you shoot, you get a great angle. Unfortunately, then you got like if Dan does give up a rebound, unfortunately at that point, oh goodness me, if he does give up a rebound at that point,
you can't say anything tonight.
then no, it's not working, is
Sorry,
it?
then
Then
we've
we've got
crotch thrusting in my eye line. It's really disconcerting.
And it's got nothing to do with what John just said.
no. Then we've got the problem we've got. See, if we're allowing them enough space so they can make a good shot and Dan saves it, and there's a rebound close in, we're not not there next to tidy the puck up and get rid of it. And it's making it too easy, and that unfortunately makes Dan look bad. And we did the same thing to Osea last year, and loads of people criticised him, and without looking at the stats and see how many shots he faced, because statistically he was nowhere near as bad as it would appear from the scores in the games. And we're doing the same thing to Dan at the moment, and unless we cut down the shot count, which is way too high at the moment, we're quite often up double on the shots we should be facing.
Like 20 shots a period on Sunday?
Yeah, it was along those lines. We're facing way too many shots, and even the best netminders in the world are gonna start conceding when you're facing loads of good shots from good positions, and you're allowing two guys in so they can pass the puck around a bit. Because I don't think there's a faster netminder in the league between the post and Dan.
No,
I think he's one of the fastest netminders I've ever seen. Into the butterfly, he's incredibly fast. He's very fast all around the crease. He's quick at getting out there. He's quick at distributing the puck. We're just not helping him out at the moment. And I really hope that the coaching changes are going to tidy that. We shouldn't be saying that there's an issue with Dan, because I don't think there is. But there is certainly an issue in getting it right in front of him. And maybe if we get it right in front of him, Dan himself will be a bit more confident. So have I been talking too long?
No,
it's good. It's been great. It's been really good. It disguises the fact that I didn't see any games of the weekend really well.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah. And Ali, the game he saw, he was a bit busy with buttons.
I spent far too long watching, as you can tell.
Yeah, yes, that's great.
But no, it was fascinating perspective though, I have to say. And one thing we were good at was face-offs.
We were
incredible. I think it was something like 20-3 in the first period or something like that, if I remember rightly. And that trend continued.
Did you notice who was the guy who was taking the most face-offs? Did you?
I'm
not saying it because I know.
Myers takes a lot of face-offs, doesn't he? Which is one of the main.
And statistically, he wins a lot of face-offs.
And he does, and he takes a lot of key face-offs for GB, doesn't he? As well.
Blight
takes quite a few on the top line, doesn't he?
Blight's good at face-offs too.
Yeah, and obviously Ben Davis then as well takes them.
But briefly, saying that Myers is good at face-offs, is that enough product from him? Given at the moment that he maybe doesn't look 100% fit, and he's not really getting too many points for us so far.
I certainly expected a lot more impact from him. From when he was playing in that nasty custard colour last year to now, he's not the same player.
Golden pink, I think it was.
I don't know what.
Golden pink.
Golden pink. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but he's not the impact guy I thought he was going to be yet.
No, and then you can see. We saw in pre-season that he looks. He certainly got it all. Why hasn't he got it at the moment?
Don't know.
Is that because the team itself isn't playing well?
Well, pre-season he was playing on a different line, wasn't he? So I know that's not an excuse for sort of anybody sort of having a major slump, but he was playing because Faulkner was out, wasn't he? So he was playing with Blight and Lord, wasn't he?
I think and he certainly looked better then.
Yeah.
Now he looks a bit like he's blowing to me. And no offense, Matt, if you didn't, if you see this, but he looks a bit like he's blowing some of the time, which leads me to suspect he's not fully fit. I wouldn't, I'm not sure how committed he is. Is the way I feel personally some of the time.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. He doesn't necessarily look like he's in there at the front. If it.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean. I don't want this to sound negative because I think Matt's a fantastic player. We need to see the best of Matt here.
Yeah.
If we're gonna move things forward, then Matt needs to be. He's one of our key players.
I want last season Matt Myers Panthers.
Yeah.
I don't want what we've got so far.
No, at the moment something's not working.
Do not want, sorry.
And and hopefully with the coaching changes, we'll see less of that now. That's not working.
Exactly.
I think briefly just to wrap it up, we've got.
We getting that crazy finger gesture.
Yeah, the director in my ear then was saying something about Aled. Well, I don't like to repeat it.
No, not again.
But he's eating his cake again. He said, "Get the knife now." Get the knife.
I'm going to eat your cake soon.
What's the knife for?
I'm going to eat your cake.
Oh, okay. 3 games coming up. Devils v Giants Thursday, and then 2 games against the Blaze away, and then home.
So, yeah.
Devils v Giants.
Devils v Giants. I was going to hide my eyes now and shake my head and go.
We'll assume we're going to lose, and if it's a close game and we
Let's
put up a
play
fight
better.
physically, then it'll be a bonus, I think, won't
Yeah.
it? Because at the moment we're losing pretty much sort of without a lot of guts being shown in those games. That's how it seems anyway.
Without showing enough fight some of the time. Yeah.
I mean, first game
Lots
against
of
the Giants.
endeavour.
First game against the Giants. Lloyd and Keith owned us as they did last season. Last game we shut them down as we talked about. But then obviously the rest of their team did the job. So yeah, if we can keep the Lloyd and Keith line shut down, and also deal with those other lines, a bit better.
We have got Conboy back now, and we don't want him taking lots of penalties in that game. We don't want Piggott taking lots of penalties in that game, though we still need the physical side from both of them.
Yep.
I think with Piggott, maybe a slight technical issue there because he keeps getting called for the same thing, which is elbows, can only be the way that Luke's going into contact. So I know Luke's not a dirty player, so it's not that Luke's deliberately going with his elbow. I think it's technique, obviously. So I'm hoping that that's something that the coaches can sort out.
Yeah.
Because Luke's an important guy on the ice for us.
Yeah.
He is a physical presence. He's not a big guy. He's a physical presence. Puts himself about.
Bigger than I thought, though.
Yeah. Good on the penalty kill.
Down by the bench, he's
certainly puts himself about.
Yeah.
He's more than prepared to get in there do the dirty stuff. So that's Devils v Giant. Devils v Blaze. Blaze are not on form either at the moment.
No.
So they
Lots of people going up for that one. Do you know?
Yeah, that is. I think there's 2 coaches going up.
Oh,
It actually feels a bit to me as if they've been playing a bit like us, recently. They haven't been consistent. They've had some big losses. They've
minus Ben Olsen at the minute.
Panthers hammered them, didn't they?
They did.
Was it? It was silly. It was like 10.
The highlights are worth watching though.
Yeah.
Was that the game where? Oh, it wasn't. Was it the Panthers game where Harvey puts a massive hit in mid ice?
I think so, yeah, and it kicked off, didn't it?
Yeah, but it was I think it was the Panthers game. I could be wrong. Apologies if I was mistaken. Fantastic clean hit from Harvey mid ice, so well worth watching just for that. So yeah, because you don't see that many massive mid ice hits.
Blaze have got some dangerous guys. I mean, Jinan's been it's been horrible.
If the Henriks could get themselves fit, then they would be really dominating in this league. I think.
Is that the issue with them? Is it not fit? Is that what?
They don't look fit.
Yeah.
No, when I've seen them,
one Blaze game.
When I've seen them, they don't look fit. I would say one was a bit, not being harsh, one looks a bit overweight, and they just don't look like they're on the pace. And if you haven't got the same skill level as someone like Galbraith, for instance, you can't afford to be overweight. I know I can't really say that because obviously I'm a bit big as well, but I don't play ice hockey. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid to play it. So for these guys, where it's their jobs, and from the Blaze point of view, if those 2 guys were proper fit, then I think they'd be a much bigger threat. I think as it stands, those 2 games could be tight.
Yeah, it's going to be a 50-50 job.
If we're going to play with passion, which we should, we'll have our new coaches in place.
So let's face it, 3 games, 6 points up for grabs. Probably going to lose Thursday.
We could steal some points in there.
Maybe should win Sunday, hopefully.
I don't know what's going to happen Thursday. I think we could sneak that. I think we're going to be up for it. I think we're going to be fierce.
I hope so.
Let's be positive.
All right, yeah, we're going to win. Come on.
Big changes.
Yeah.
And I think next week we'll have a lot to talk about and see how the changes have worked out. And good luck to everyone.
Yep.
And good luck to the guys. And do your best. That's all you can do.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. What? We'll do birthday in a minute.
No, but hang on.
What? We're finish your cake?
Have you eaten
No,
cake?
I've got a new pair of socks this
Oh,
week.
Alid's socks. We did this last week. None of us really liked it, but Alid did. So this week he's got a brown sort of. Is it fleecy again?
It's sort of fleecy,
got
and
love
they've
hearts,
got
which is
nice
nice.
hearts on.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
originally,
Yeah.
they smelt of chocolate.
Do they now smell of your feet?
They do.
Excellent.
Fortunately, I have lovely smelling feet.
There we go.
Find it hard to believe.
But-
Would you like to smell them?
No.
You won't regret it.
And finally, a big up to Brett the drummer, because he's ace.
He is.
Yeah.
But no, more finally. Match Night Live running all 3 nights, so we'll have it up and running every night. From the rink live Thursday and Sunday, and someone else will run on Saturday, probably OJ. Awesome, well done, man. Done.
Penblwydd hapus i ti, Penblwydd hapus i ti, Penblwydd hapus i Skip and Steve for this week. They're not actually on the same day. Penblwydd hapus i harmonise ti.
That word.
Well, he really did all the way through, didn't he? Sang every note there. I thought he was fabulous, wasn't he? He really was. I've heard Elvis sing that, and he wasn't as good. Amazing. Aled, I'd just like to say, ha! And I loved it. This is John Jones. Thank you.
Was that a Tom Jones thing that he did?
Tom?
Yeah. Tom
There we
or
go.
John Jones?
Let's just carry on.
I don't think he stopped filming yet.